What's your why? Like why, just in general, not just like why solar, why batteries, why, door cells, but if you really pinpoint like what's your why that keeps you motivated moving forward, in an industry, yeah, you love it and it's a great opportunity, but holy hell, if there's not, how much has it changed in the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? Like,
So that's changed over time. I think that my why wasn't there before. That's why I failed, right? I wasn't guided by the right things. For me, I find a lot of joy in taking somebody who is in my position, who is very lost in life, maybe misguided, had a bad upbringing, maybe been in prison or something, and taking them and turning them into a productive member of society while doing something that doesn't harm people.
right.
Right, and I think that's my new why. I since this whole experience, I honestly didn't believe in God before, and I really do believe in God now. So like if you really think about like how many things had to go right for me to make it back here, I don't know if it would be statistically possible on a mathematical level. Right, so that's where my perspective has changed a lot in the last few years.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Be Bright podcast. Today, we got the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Ricky Breezy, starting the revolution here. Breezy Energy, how you doing?
Doing well, man. Doing well.
Good.
Glad to have the opportunity to
Yeah.
kind of introduce myself and what I've been doing in the industry. Some people may know me, some people may not know me. Been working in the shadows for a lot of years in the industry, seeing the good, seeing the bad, and I'm finally ready to step up and do things the correct way.
Yeah.
After experiencing hundreds of people doing this completely wrong.
Are you still paying the electric company for power every single month? You're not only losing money, you're investing in someone else's future, not your own. Bright Home Energy has over 400 five-star reviews and over 100 five-star reviews on the BBB. That means real homeowners just like you are already making the switch with quality and peace of mind. We are the preferred solar installer for Solar Edge Technologies in Arizona. Not a title that was given, but a title that was earned through quality, structure, and peace of mind. As a NABCEP certified solar installer and an APS qualified technology installer, your solar installation with Bright Home Energy is not good, it's top tier. So the choice is yours. You can either keep paying your utility company every month, making them rich, or you can make the switch to solar and start investing in your future today. Yeah, and that's what's kind of interesting. I feel like, I've been in the industry a decade, and, now more than ever, I think is the time for good leaders to rise up and to get their message out on social media, out to customers. Because like you said, there have been a lot of bad actors, which we'll definitely get into. But want to kick it off for those that don't know you, want to give them a little bit of a background about, how you came to be, because I think it's easy in life, like somebody might meet you now and they see, the house, the cars, all those things, and like the success that you've worked for and earned, but they probably don't really know the real Ricky and, maybe what you've been through, how you got to where you were. And that's what we like to spotlight on here is like, yeah, the end all success is awesome, but the journey is awesome to be able to learn, who you are, how it came to be. So as you kind of look into that, do you want to give us a little bit of a background, like where you grew up, any formidable experiences you had growing up that you feel like helped you be the man that you are today?
Yeah, man. So I am an immigrant. My parents are Indian. That's the dot, not the feather, right? So growing up, I had a very educational based upbringing, right? So I had to be either a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer, right? And I went to school at Arizona State, studied computer science, and I was pretty smart, right? Like I'm really good with numbers, pretty good at coding, but I realized that I was making something that would take my job in the future. And I know it's sounded kind of like impossible back then when I was in school, like 2018, 2019 at ASU. But I just realized that I was never going to be like the best coder in the
Right.
world, right? Like, and I wanted to be like the best at what I do, right? So I went against kind of like the culture and went into sales and sales is definitely not something that's like glorified in the Indian culture, in the community in
Sure.
general, right? So education, even to this day, like it doesn't matter how much money I make, like if I don't have a very high level of education, I won't be respected by my community, right? So it was really, really tough kind of growing up with those expectations and not really fitting into that mold,
Sure.
right? But always being smart and knowing that I was capable of great things, but never finding anything that I was really passionate about,
Right.
right? So it was really, really hard for me growing up to utilize the skills that I had so many of into something that I felt like would actually bring me a return. So my parents actually cut me off completely just because I switched from an engineering major to a business major.
Gotcha.
Right. So I had to figure out a way to pay out of state tuition, and I had a really great life. I was kind of like a frat boy having a lot of fun, and like I just wanted to justify staying. And
Sure.
40, 50K out of state tuition is a lot to pay. And
Yeah.
there's really nothing in no job that you can get that's going to be able to pay that other than solar sales.
Right.
Right. And getting good at solar sales was kind of like my saving grace to get out of the failure of
Sure.
my life. Right. So using solar sales as an outlet, I didn't really even get into solar sales right away. Right. Like I was finding other things to sell, like pest control and just like security, and I just could never get behind the product. Like pest control, man, you can buy some Raid, right? Like you could just deal with the bugs.
Sure.
Like security, like you could get a German Shepherd and a dog, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't need those things. And to be honest, like people don't necessarily need solar either, but they do need energy,
Yeah.
right? So I think one thing that we've gotten wrong as an industry and why it's become such a sales bro culture is because solar needs to be sold,
Right.
right? But energy independence, that really doesn't. Like people need energy to
Right.
survive. It's a basic necessity of life. And I think that just like the culture of the industry is so door to door, so like Andy Elliott, and so like, oh, like I'm better at getting somebody to do something than the next guy.
Right.
But it's not about the fact that we're actually like providers of energy, right? Like a basic necessity of life, a cornerstone of living in the 21st century,
Dang.
right? So I just think there should be a rebrand altogether on who we are, what we do, right? Like, yeah, like, okay, we knock doors, but like, is that what's really happening here, right? Is that what the mission here is? Is it to just spread word, or is it to achieve something?
Sure.
And I think we should, as a race, like achieve like what we're supposed to, which is to, I don't know if you guys know about what the Kardashev scale. Have you ever heard of that before? So it's a scientist, and it's basically he states that like any civilization ever created, they cannot become a type 1 civilization until they've harnessed all of the energy of their neighboring star, i.e. the sun. So by definition in physics and science, like we will never progress as a society until we have used renewable energy, right? And I don't think enough people are talking about this.
No, definitely not. Definitely not in the solar space. I think a lot of it, kind of more stems to what you first said, where it's like how we're better and this is better and I'm better versus, what is it as a whole? Because I know when I got into solar, I think the evolutions of solar, what's crazy about what you're saying is like when solar first was sold, and this is before I even got into it, probably 15 years ago, I think a lot of people did sell on the effect of like it's the right thing to do, going green. And by the time I got into it, so that was probably like the first couple of years, I remember people were like, yeah, when we started at Solar City, like they had like this big cause of like why they were selling it. And then I think as it transitioned, it went from a big cause and then people learned how much money there could be made. And then it like all shifted to like price and, basically just like the sales bro culture. And I think now more than ever, especially as we'll get into it with storage, like what are we really offering? Because, what solar actually is it's a product, like you said, energy is something everybody has. They're already paying for it and it's always going up and it's not an infinite supply. as current. But through the sun and with a battery, doesn't matter what the grid does. If the grid goes out, people can be self-sustained. And, you think about why people came to this country, you talk about freedom. It's like, we're really not that free. You move into a neighborhood, they don't say, well, what utility company would you like to sign up with? They're like, oh, you're APS or you're SRP. Mm-hmm. And I think getting back to the basics of what we're really doing, what product are we actually offering? Like, you're offering electricity, you're offering energy, and you're competing against the grid, which is in some ways some of the easiest sell ever. You know what I mean? But I think people have kind of lost sight of that. And yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't know anything about that as far as like harnessing the power of the sun and like how it can be self-sustaining to further our, evolution as a society.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't just make this up. Like, this is like,
yeah, it didn't
actual,
sound
yeah, like, this is like
it did,
actual
that was really
scientist.
convincing. Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, no, like, don't take my word for it,
Sure.
man. All I'm saying is like, yeah, we're energy people.
Yeah.
We're not door knockers, right? And we need an identity shift,
Yeah.
right? Because people don't really like door knockers.
No.
Like, at the end of the day, like, let's be real with ourselves. Let's keep it breezy, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Let's keep it breezy.
So at the end of the day, man, I truly think that there's a lot of good people in this industry that have the right mindset on what this is, but we're going to see in the next couple of months who really was about solar.
Right.
And who was really just about making the bag.
Yep.
Right. Like, and it's already showing. Like, the real ones are still at it.
Right.
Right. Everybody else is justifying why the tax credit is like the end of the world and like how people aren't going to use energy after a tax credit's over.
Right.
Right. Like, come on now. Like, so, yeah, let's go back to using candles because the government said.
Right.
What?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I thought was interesting. When the tax credit was announced, it was going away. Like immediately, the two local utilities increased their rates. Yeah. So it's like they know what's going on, and they're going to continue to do that because what we provide is competition to somewhat keep them fair. Now they're in control of a lot of it, but I think like I mentioned, as we'll segue into batteries and spend a lot of our conversation on that. I think that's the way to beat the grid. That's the way to be as self-sustained as possible. And that's the way to really maximize, the solar power that you do have is through energy storage. But you go to college, you kind of take that bet on yourself. I mean, in some ways against your family and your culture. Walk us through how did solar come about and what was it about solar initially that got you into the industry?
Yeah, man. So after college, I had to figure out how to make a lot of money. And before I got into solar, I was like a club promoter. I worked in like Old Town Scottsdale. It was a very interesting time. Obviously, it looks like a lot of fun. Looks like you are really cool. But I was honestly making decent money and maybe like $100K just partying, right? Like, and it looks great, but you spend $120K just to look that great. Right. So it's like, yeah, I got negative $20,000 in my bank account with like credit card debt, but I look really cool. Right. So now that's not going to go anywhere. You're not going to do anything with your life. You're going to be on this like loop forever and ever.
Sure.
And I just met so many people. I had all these connections and like, I felt like I was a man, but I was a man with negative $20,000 in my bank account. Right. So I looked at what was around me, which is human connection, the people that like honestly maybe didn't have like the traditional route to like achieve success, which is like get a degree and this, that, and the other. Like school isn't for everybody. But when I saw that, I just wanted to make use of the connections that I already made, and I turned all the degenerates into solar salesmen. Right? Like, and multiple times over, right? And it was pretty lucrative because I had to justify like finding something that would make a lot of money. And there's a lot of things in the world that can make a lot of money. But what can make as much money as solar sales, but still do something good for society? And it's very, very hard to find something like that. Right. So that's what really attracted me about solar. Like I felt good about it. Like the people that got my product would benefit. They wouldn't like, it wasn't something that like they got addicted to or like just wanted over and over again. And I felt good. Right. So I was making the best of my situations, what I had in front of me, the fact that like, yeah, I could have looked at it like, yeah, I'm never going to be anything because I'm never going to have a degree. or I could just realize that, yeah, maybe there's something other than school.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah, and that's what I think is can be tough, whether it's culturally or just as a society. It's like we're brainwashed from a very young age to go to school, get a degree, you know, get a 9 to 5, find a good stable career. Where sales, and especially solar sales, I think you hit the nail on the head. Where it's like, hey, not only is it an amazing opportunity for you, but it's an amazing opportunity. Plus, you're helping so many people, and that's really where I think I agree with you. And something I didn't expect for you to talk about, but I think we'll get into is just that rebrand and what is the big purpose moving forward. Because if it's just all about money and how much money can you make, like we're already seeing that some of it's subsidies, but some of it's just educated consumers. Cost of things where you know it always like rubbed me the wrong way when somebody's like, "Oh, I'm making like 20 grand a sell," and it's just like, "Geez, man, like." And every market's different, whatever,
Yeah.
and to each their own. But it's like, what are we really doing? And so, you've been in solar for a while now. I think one to kind of button up the first part of this, one common thread I've always seen with people in solar, unfortunately, has been they've all had at least a bad experience with a company or companies are not getting paid, unless you've worked at Bright Home this whole time. But yeah, it's just like no one is immune to it except for a very select few. What's the solar coaster been like for you?
Yeah, man. So, solar coaster's been kind of wild. Been in it since 2018, right? So back in the Lone Pal days,
Yeah.
and I worked at pretty much every install. I probably have one install with every installer to ever exist. I just had to try them all.
Yeah.
I'm just like, okay, what do you do wrong? What do you do wrong? What do you do wrong? What do you?
Right.
Everyone does something wrong.
Right.
Right. There's no perfect installer.
Right.
Far from it. Right. And actually, I think you guys are probably like the closest thing to it. Like you're actually certified with the utility companies that are local, and that in itself is powerful, right? Like it shows that you're doing the things correctly, right? And then with just like our industry, I think that with these changes, we can't be naive, right? I think as an industry, we've been very, very naive to think that the people we're taking money from, i.e., the utility company, is just going to sit there and just be like, hey, here's a 1-to-1 net metering for the rest of your life, man. Like, come on now, let's not be naive. Like, they are losing millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, right, to us. And they're just going to sit there and wait for us, and they're going to be like, hey, like, yeah, here's all of our money. Like, no, they're not going to do that. Every single utility in this nation we will eventually get rid of net metering.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Like, we cannot think that, oh, I live in a liberal state and, like, the rich people here aren't going to be able to pay my politicians to get rid of my solar buyback credits. Yeah? You really think that's going to happen? Okay, man, you can live in that world. But you need a battery. Like, let's be honest. Like, this is what's wrong with solar. Solar is an incomplete product.
Yeah.
It's actually the accessory, bro. Like, it's not the actual product. The actual product is energy independence.
Yeah.
And solar by itself will never give you that because somebody else makes the rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
And when they don't like the rules, they change them, just like the local utilities here. I don't know if you've been paying attention, but last week they changed on-peak hours to nighttime.
Yep.
And guess what doesn't happen at nighttime?
No sunshine. No solar panels are working.
There you go. It's a common sense thing, guys. Like, we can talk about kilowatts and red lines and these imaginary numbers all day long. But what's important? The fact that people have power at a lower price. And yeah, if you make 20 bands doing that, 5 bands doing that, 80 bands doing that, as long as you're saving the customer money,
Right.
then it's just like, oh, like a justification for, oh, I don't like this guy. He's making too much money.
Right.
Right? Or I don't like this guy because I couldn't figure out how to make that much money.
Sure.
Right, because at the end of the day, if the customer is happy, they're getting what they want, and they're given the correct expectations. They're not promised, like, oh, yeah, you're not going to have a bill at all, man. Like, they are given the fact that, hey, man, like, if you use power exactly the same way next year and in these patterns, I can't tell if you're going to use power in the morning. I can't tell if you're going to use power in the afternoon. But you're going to use power. And if we can reduce the rate from 40 cents to 4 cents or 5 cents, and you can fill up on one side and do this on the other, like, is that not going to mathematically put you in a better situation? I'm not promising any post-solar bill or anything, but I am promising that You will buy energy at a lower rate during these times, and you can use it and utilize
Right.
it to save money, right? And that's it. Like that's the product. Do you want it, right? And I think some people really do this wrong, and some people really do this right, right? I have a lot of respect for Val
Yeah.
at Sun Solar Solutions.
Shout out, Val.
Shout out Sun Solar Solutions. um, they really do care about their customers,
Yep.
right? And that's something that like it's like one in like 10,000 solar companies,
Yep.
right? So I have a lot of respect for him in actually figuring out how to do it right, putting out the information correctly. I was working in different markets, right? So I know how things work in different utilities, and people are too solar obsessed, and they don't look at the local utility company. They just fly off to Illinois because they
Right.
heard that it's like easier to get some sales, and then they realize that, oh wow, installs take 6 months. Oh wow, like there's like this permit, that permit. Oh my
Right.
God, there's a overhead riser times 6. Like what are we gonna do?
Right.
We're gonna pay those adders because we thought we could just run away to a market that's easier where people haven't heard about solar yet, so we could lie to them and we can make some more money. And then your company falls apart because you don't have any foundation, you don't have any referral networks,
Right.
and you're just running around the country until somebody realizes that you're full of shit. Right?
Do you want to name it? No, I'm just No, that's definitely true. I think you pretty much did the solar coaster, and that's where I think Arizona gets a bad rap, and it's probably like California. I mean, some of these more mature solar states, they're not bad. They're just different. Like they just are different than they were before, and those
Yeah.
that can adapt and see the value of storage are, those that are going to succeed and thrive. Which I know, and I know we've been teasing people. And we're going to get to it, but before we get to that. Something I do like to ask everybody, just because everyone's story is a little bit different. Throughout this whole time in solar, was there any time like you wanted to quit and give up and switch industries, or what's kept you going? Maybe when times have been tough in that solar coaster.
Yeah, man. So the solar coaster is intense. It's the only industry that you can kind of just get away with not paying people, right?
Yeah, it's pretty
So
wild.
it's like, so like last year, I had to do last year to about 2 years ago. I had to deal with Titan bankruptcy, SunPower bankruptcy, Freedom Forever taking more than 12 months to install shit, and yeah, man, it's just I was literally a nonprofit company from like 2 years ago. Like the installs didn't happen all
Right.
year long because either a bankruptcy or incompetency, right? So you can't blame the system when the system's flawed because they're already planning on bankruptcy and not paying
Yeah,
you,
it's like, how
right?
would you know?
So that is the solar coaster, and you get completely destroyed over and over again, and you get tested for your will to see if you're actually about it, right? And I pretty much almost gave up about, I'd say like 14 months ago, after Titan went kaput,
Right.
and there's hundreds of thousands of dollars that I didn't get paid from multiple different installation companies. I was actually about to sell insurance. Just like everybody else, when you wave your white flag in solar, you go sell insurance.
Yeah.
Like,
Shots fired.
so, I mean, dude, it's
Shots
like,
landed.
let's keep it
No,
breezy, bro. Like,
keep it
yeah,
100.
like, I'm gonna be 100. It's just something that I was about to do because it was what everybody else was doing,
Right.
Like, and it's just like, oh, I'm a sales bro. Like, that's what I am. So I'm just gonna go sell something else. Like it's all I know. It's all I'm good at.
Right.
And yeah, I was about to go do it. I actually got licensed, and I was like, nah, man, I'm too good at this. I believe too much in this product. Like, there is something here of it is just other people just messing up over and over and over
Right.
again. It has nothing to do with me, has nothing to do with the product, has nothing to do with the mission. It just has to do with incompetency at the top,
Right.
But are you gonna let that stop you from achieving your dreams and your goals? Then, like, it was literally like this close for me.
Right.
Like I just like was about to just give up, do nothing, and I'm like, nah, I'm gonna send it again. Like, if I did it once, I can do it again.
Right.
So I came back out, and this year I went from negative in the bank account from those bankruptcies, and I have over 200 sales this year.
Damn.
And most of them are getting installed. So hashtag installs only. Like,
Hell yeah, brother.
here's the thing about our industry. Everybody likes to pretend like they're more than who they are.
Yeah.
Right. It's like, oh, fake chick Friday. Like,
Right.
I might have made this much money in about 6 months.
If all the deals got
If all the
installed.
deals went through and I didn't have any cancels, and yeah, let's be honest, the industry has a 50% cancel rate, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you guys are phenomenal, but everybody else, they just slap slap the contract on the desk and just hope that it gets onto the roof without them noticing, right?
Yeah.
And that leads to cancels, and then they use this imaginary amount of money they might be making to portray this idea that they are better than other people, and then that's why they need to go sign up for their course, or that's why they need to go
Right.
come over to their company because they're doing fucking amazing, and it's just not that way, man. It's
Yeah.
just keep it breezy, pretend that you are nothing because you are nothing, because at the end of the day, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, I was nothing. Right? Yeah, I might know some solar panel shit, but other people do too. Right? Nothing I'm doing is special. Nothing you're doing, unfortunately, is
Yeah.
special. Nothing anyone in this industry is doing is that much more special. There's no mad imaginary tax credit that's gonna give you more money, and that's up for debate for a lot of people. I'm not a CPA, right? And neither are you, bro. Stop saying shit about taxes.
Right.
Shut up. Just shut up, sell the product correctly, stop claiming things that you don't know anything about, stop talking about taxes. Most of you people haven't even paid an electric bill in your life. What the fuck? Just shut up and let
Right.
the adults talk. And, really just do better training as an industry.
Yeah.
Right? I can sit here and have my breezy rant all day long, but realistically, everybody needs their mom to come by and just be like, yo, act better.
Do better.
Do better.
And is that, I guess, moving into the next phase, is that what motivated you to start Breezy, or how did that come to be? What motivated you to want to just take the bull by the horns and, kind of lead your own path?
Yeah, man. So realistically, I've always been in that, I haven't been quarterback, but I've always been the running back or the wide receiver or something, right? So part of a lot of C-suites and just executive teams, and honestly kind of giving all my energy, building everything, recruiting everybody, training everybody, doing all the actual work, and then giving away my energy to somebody else.
Sure.
So they can reap the benefits. And this happens all the time in our industry. It's not exclusive to me. My experience isn't just my experience, right? It's for everybody. Everybody's been in this position where they keep giving their energy towards somebody else. Let's call it a monopoly, right? And they get peanuts on the dollar for
Right.
their energy. So the idea of Breezy Energy is that I know I can produce things, right? I know I'm capable of it, but I always give it away to this weird MLM monopoly at peanuts on the dollar, and they never give me net metering, right? So it's I'm gonna just keep it breezy. I'm gonna keep it breezy in my battery, and when you're ready to give me some net metering, I'm gonna hand you some energy, or
Right.
even better, let's give me some VPP. Give me 144.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what Breezy Energy is about, right? I made it, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you can always do it yourself. And what I was afraid to do is be the brand myself, right? Because I didn't want all that responsibility. I'll let
Right.
the CEO take all the blame. I'll make all the money, but that just puts you in a position to get screwed,
Yeah.
right?
No, it does. And I think, it's, you go back and forth. I asked this question to, a few people of who has done more harm for the solar industry, and nobody ever wants to look at their side of it, because you got installers,
Financiers,
you got sales orgs, you got financiers. That has been a common theme. It's definitely probably true. Yeah, and it's just, that's what's crazy is there's so many layers to it, especially being a sales org, which you have your own organization now. We've been one of those. The main reason why we started to be an installer is because we're hey, we're not, we got burned. We didn't get paid several $100,000s. And it's kind of crazy to think about that. It's it all starts with this finance company who's doing all this crazy crap with dealer fees, and people aren't even like trained on how to sell their finance product, and like
They're loan officers, right?
yeah, no joke, right? And then it goes down to the installer, and hopefully they're doing things right, and then hopefully you get paid from both of those. But I guess for you, in this evolution of Breezy and just Solar Next in Arizona, talk to me about why you're so passionate about battery storage in Arizona and how that's critical to sell with solar moving forward.
Yeah, no. So, like I said before, you guys all are selling cars without engines. The reason why people don't like solar is because they're sold it thinking that it's going to be a full solution when it is half of the solution,
Right.
right? Because you are not independent, you're just producing power, right? And that's why, like, as an industry, we were in our infancy. People think it's over, but it just started,
Yeah.
right? Like, that was just like the preface. It's just like, hey, we sold the accessory, we got
Right.
some panels onto the roof, but now now we have a bigger problem, right? The utility company is just going to give you nothing for it. Now you just have people with debt all over the place and a reputation problem on an entire product, right? Like no other product has like this type of reputation
Right.
problem. Like it's like, oh, I'm never gonna buy a car again. Like what? No one's gonna say that, right? So yeah, it's just like we have a reputation problem as an industry. We need to rebrand. People hate solar. People hate salesmen. People hate door knockers.
Right.
But they need energy, right? So we need to rebrand, all of us, and it's gonna be tough for a lot of people because I ruffle feathers the wrong way because like we are the solar industry, but especially in Arizona, man, most people aren't gonna like it when I say this, but solar might not be the best thing.
Yeah.
But by itself,
Sure.
obviously.
Yeah.
But solar and a battery will make you not overpay for power, right? Simply put, like, oh, it's not gonna like completely wipe out your bill in every situation or everything like that, but like, it's gonna make sure you don't overpay for power,
Right.
right? That's what a battery does, and it's quite simple. It's just that, right? If we don't need to overcomplicate it, we don't need to overpromise things. Like people need to be sold solar, but people actually genuinely want batteries,
Right.
right? Like they love the idea of batteries. They're always like, "What? I thought I had batteries already." Like every single time I talk to somebody who already has solar, they're like, "What? There's no batteries on this? What? I thought there was a battery.
Right.
Like how where does the energy go?" Like they didn't explain it to them, so they're like, "What? This is magical. Like I thought it was just gonna make energy and like
Right.
yeah." But yeah, we'll move on from bashing people and let's just call it this. Energy is what you sell.
Yeah.
You're not a solar salesman, right? Solar's over. Solar's dead. But energy, independence, and clean energy storage, that has just begun.
Yeah. Dun dun dun. Add some music in there or something for effect. But no, I agree. And we've even seen a shift over the last year is there's been people getting storage without solar even. And, it's a good way to save on money and it's a little less cost. But you think about it, I think the perfect pairing is solar with storage just because if you're really, I think a lot of people are going solar, whether it's directly or indirectly for independence, like freedom from what the grid charges them. And I think a lot of people in your mind saying like, yeah, they still would believe that if the power goes out, their panels are going to be working, which is not true unless you have a battery. And so, AI data centers coming into the state, it's not a problem now per se, but it's going to be very quickly over the next 5 years of there's all this new technology coming that's drawing so much power. Where are we going to get all that power from? There's basically one of two options. Either the grid has to be able to produce more, which means they're going to spend a lot of money to be able to produce more, which they're going to pass to all their customers, or they're going to have to buy more from other states, which is going to also increase the price. Third option is through, virtual power plants. For somebody that maybe that's a new term to them, in your words, like virtual power plants, how do you see that being a big game changer moving forward?
Oh yeah, no, that is the game changer, right? So, the problem with utility companies is that they. So here's a weird thing. In a weird way, I think utility companies actually like batteries,
Yeah, they
but
do.
they hate solar
Yep.
panels, right? And that's because like batteries can actually take the load off of the utility companies, reducing their cost.
Right.
Whereas solar, it's just like they kind of have to like buy it at whatever time, and they try to find and a weird justification formula on why like it's not worth so much during this time, but it's like worth so
Right.
much during this time.
A lot of
Right?
fugazi.
Fugazi, fugazi, it's a woozy, it's a
Yeah.
wazi. You know, like at the end of the day, what you are doing as a virtual power plant provider is you're joining kind of like a energy stock market, right? Like that's kind of like how I like to explain it. Like if you were to buy like a stock at this price and then you sell it later at this price, like that's what you're doing just
Right.
with energy, right? So soon enough, like you'll be able to like kind of trade it like a platform. It's not there yet. Like it just started like
Right.
last week, and APS
Yeah.
specifically, but it's been around in California
Texas.
and Texas and Tucson and places like that.
Yep.
I think it's a very, very integral part of the distributed energy grid that is pretty much going to be required for this AI. That's like the biggest thing here. So, one thing I want to let you know, and most people know, is that we can kind of like debate how long this AI thing is going to take, or we could actually prepare for it.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, if we want to be naive, we can wait and be like, oh my God, where's my job? Or we could just realize that, like, hey, this thing might be better than everybody at everything. And and maybe we do need universal basic income. And if the thing is, like, if our electric bill is going to double just to power the thing that's going to take our job, like after all the jobs are gone, what's going to be left? Just energy.
Right.
Right? So
Right.
like right now, like people are like, oh my God, like yeah, solar's dead. Like yeah, solar is dead, but energy is gonna be the only thing that's left
Right.
because AI will do everything else, bro. So
It's
like
true.
yeah, like, I'll let you guys figure it out yourself, but I'm gonna do me.
Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. No, that's awesome. And another thing that I think is important along the journey, and I think you've said it sparingly throughout, but what's your why? Like why, just in general, not just like why solar or why batteries, why, door-to-door cells, but if you really pinpoint like what's your why that keeps you motivated moving forward, in an industry, yeah, you love it and it's a great opportunity, but holy hell, if there's not, I mean, how much has it changed in the last 12 months, 24 months, 36 months? Like why, what's your why that keeps you moving forward?
So that's changed over time. I think that my why wasn't there before. That's why I failed, right? I wasn't guided by the right things. I think I did it for the reasons why everybody else does solar. It's the cool cars, the lifestyle, like X, Y, and Z. Because like everybody really does end up in solar just because they need some money. Like
Right.
let's be real. Most people don't start solar because they're trying to save the planet,
Right.
right? And
It's true.
so for me, like that's it's not like I'm trying to save the planet or anything either. Like I don't think I'm like that important. Like it's just that if I'm going to do something that I am in control of, and that will give me a return that is in my control. So like sales, right? Like obviously, like everybody's always like, oh, you should do sales. You should do sales. Like
Right.
sales is great, but like, what are you selling? Is it sustainable? And are you helping the people around you um, build themselves up to be more than just like your workers,
Right.
right? So like for me, I find a lot of joy in taking somebody who is in my position, who is very lost in life, maybe misguided, had a bad upbringing, maybe been in prison or something, and taking them and turning them into a productive member of society while doing something that doesn't harm people,
Right.
right? And I think that's my new why. I since this whole experience, I honestly didn't believe in God before, and I really do believe in God now. So like if you really think about like how many things had to go right for me to make it back here, I don't know if it would be statistically possible on a mathematical level, right? So that's where my perspective has changed a lot in the last few years.
Yeah, no, that when I heard you say that, I was like, yeah, that's the right answer because it should evolve, it should change. I think that's been a very common theme, whether it's Val, people I've talked to here, even seeing it myself is like it's so funny how when we started this journey, like what our motivations were, and they're not all bad intended. I mean, to make money is not a bad thing, right? To have these nice things aren't a bad thing. I think what we all learn is you do it, you get those things, and maybe temporarily more happy and fulfilled than you were before.
Yeah.
But then that just kind of wears off, and then you're just like, all right, well, let me hit that again, and let me try for that again, and and then eventually you're just like, all right, well, what is it that like is going to sustain me and kind of fill me inside? And I think it's you mentioned it, just the direct impact you can have on people, not just your customers, which that's awesome. You're helping them out and you're helping yourself out, but like taking people, like you said, that were in your situation and giving them a life changing opportunity that like how your life has changed, you don't know the impact you're going to have. And I think as I look back on things and like I look at you as a leader, you are a leader. You're leading, your company, your people, and then this sort of new revolution in solar and storage. Don't discount the impact that you're going to have on people, and you never know how that ends up. But having people come through your organization, whether they're with you for a year, a month, a decade, having that mindset, which you do, that like, hey, these people hopefully will be better off because they came through our team and our squad and that than they were before. That's something you can't really put a price on. You're still young. You still have your whole life ahead of you. It might seem like a weird question, but like long term, what do you want your legacy to be? What do you want Breezy Energy to be remembered for?
Yeah, so that's a tough one, right? Because there's a lot of ego involved with that, and I don't want it to be about me, right? Obviously, I can guide people in the right direction, but nothing's possible without the people around me.
Yeah.
Right. So for my legacy, I just want to be known as the person that did absolutely everything for those around them to achieve the life that they desire. Right. And in byproduct, I'm going to get everything I want. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, like, yeah, I can make this about me, but the only way I'm going to achieve all my goals and achieve everything that I wanted to is if the people around me support me and I support them.
Yeah.
Right. Simple.
Yep. Yeah, there's an old Og Mandino quote. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He's an author, but he says, basically for you to get what you want in life, if you help enough people get what they want, you'll eventually get what you want. And it's true. I think as we look back on our best experiences, have been able to see like the growth and the life change that have come from some of our people. Some of the worst experiences we've had, like we've had employees steal from us, like break in, steal shit, whatever. And it's just like, man, that sucks. But at the end of the day, having the why, having it continue to evolve, and you continuing to evolve as a person, having the right culture, the right people around you, and then having that positive impact, I think that's what's going to be cool is none of us know how long we have, not only to live, but in this industry and to make the impact that we have. But definitely want to make it count while we, make hay while the sun's shining, make energy while the sun is shining. So, well, Ricky, man, you're awesome. You're definitely one of a kind. I appreciate you coming on. Excited to see, what you, Breezy Energy, continue to do and how, it's no BS, dude. It's like you have an amazing opportunity to be able to lead the next wave, in solar and storage, not just in Arizona, but the United States. And like, think about that. Like, imagine 2 years ago or 14 months ago when you wanted to go sell insurance. Imagine the impact you'd be missing out on had you done that. But if people want to find you on the socials, how do they find you?
Yeah, man. It's Ricky.Breezy on Instagram, BRZYNRG. And yeah, man, just stop bullshitting people. Let's keep it breezy.
Keep it breezy. Well, yeah, we appreciate you all checking out this episode. Please like it, share it. We're trying to go for the most streamed episode of all time ever on any platform.
420.
Yep. Thanks for hopping on. We'll see you guys next time.